therefore I think the umpire made the right decision.
That is a free kick every day of the week.
The arm chop is still a thing and front-on contact is still a thing. That's a free kick.
I'm adamant. His eyes are on the ball and he didn't drag the arm down.
I think it should be a free kick.
Well, I actually thought it was a pretty good spoil.
On the night, I straight away thought that would be one that would normally be paid, but we were comfortable with where it landed.
I'd be more inclined to pay free kick. I'd like to see the ball smashed away.
$1 each way, anyone? This is why we have Razor's Edge right throughout the season.
I don't like that, Jerry, because it makes Ray look better, you know. That's how hard it is. And he's not better because he's hobbled in. He's just come up short in grand final week. What's happened?
Nothing will keep me away from the desk, though, Gary. Thanks
no,
for
I know
having
that
me.
might keep you away from... What have you done?
I
think you got an old man's.
No, yeah, I was humbled. I was humbled. I've nicked a calf. And
Lockie nailed it.
I wanted to message Lockie and go, big spoon, little spoon in the hyperbaric chamber. Or...
Look at you. Look at the old fella there. Just realising his umpiring mortality is coming.
It's tapped me on the shoulder. Yeah.
It's probably going to be a lengthy absence at this age too. Right, Jamie Elliot, where we found ourselves with this flashpoint on Saturday. Give us the rule.
Yeah, so the spirit of the law in marking contest is that if a player makes their sole objective the football, they are permitted to contest the ball. Whether that's front on, side on, from behind, it doesn't matter. And any contact that is incidental in that effort is permissible. Now, there's a little bit of a caveat around with frontal interference as opposed to general marking contest. And, you know, two things can be true. So we heard the lead in and you can... Everyone having a bob each way. Starcevic, sole objective the football, no doubt. Eyes on the football, no doubt. But in the words of Simon Meredith, we'd like to see him smash it. So the words we would use in an umpiring vernacular in relation to contesting the ball from front on is we want to see him flush the ball. This sits so in the margins as to does Starcevic get to the ball clean or not. This is line ball and such a challenging decision. But I sit in the Simon Meredith camp. I believe this is a free kick, but I'm not critical of the umpire at all.
It doesn't say in that what you put up the reasoning. It doesn't say frontal incidental contact, but you must flush the ball.
No, but the interpretation, there's interpretations and subjectivity with every law that's in this game, Gary, and the coaching dialogue and messaging and instruction that we've had right throughout in most recent years is when you come from front on, we want to see you get the ball clean. And I know that we've got an example to be able to try and demonstrate the difference. There can be contact from front on, there can be contact on the arm if it's incidental, so long as your sole objective is the football and we get contact.
You did this with us in round 2.
This is right. So you'll see Darcy Moore comes back with the flight of the ball. He doesn't have his eyes back at the ball, but he waits until it comes in a frame. He uses Norton's hands as his reference points. He's very clever, and he gets the ball clean. And as a result, we call play on. There's no contact to the arm. He does front Norton. He does T-bone him in the front, but he's clean on the football. His sole objective is to contest the ball. That was called play on, and the AFL umpiring department said that's a correct decision, and that is in line with instruction.
OK, so that is instructional, and if the grand final to be played on Saturday, that is what we'll look for in that instance, that there is clear and precise contact with the footy.
Exactly, and remembering that overarching principle, the sole objective of the player, in Starcevic's case, he ticked that box, was to contest the football, and then if you come from front on, we need you to make clean contact with the ball.
I know we're not time... We can go until midnight if we want, so indulge me. I would suggest that Starcevic's was a much more genuine attempt than Darcy Moore's.
I concur. They both come from front on, and the instructional element around that behaviour is around do you successfully make contact with the ball or not.
Yeah.
So that's the checklist that we're going through. And keep in mind in that preliminary final, we've rock and rolled this, we've freeze-framed it. He gets one look, one line of sight, and it was a really challenging decision.
So that game, sorry, Jared, that is the grand final with 30 seconds to go and Collingwood are down by 3 points. What happens?
I hope that a free kick for frontal marking context interference is paid.
Yeah. And the drop of the ball, I think, is the best cue. Ball over there, ball straight down, you got hands.
Fair, great. I don't think it's a fair call, Jared. Yeah, fair.
All right, the Brownlow. Is there a moment where the reverence for the Brownlow tips into ridicule, and do we risk that at the moment?
So I've thought about this for a few days, And I think one of the worst things that you can do is to be too reactive in the immediate aftermath when everyone wants to be the most clever person in the world around these things. But we don't want to walk away from opportunities to be better. So if that and that's going to take some debate, because ultimately it comes back to the question of what does the game, not the umpires, this is not related to the umpires actually. I know they cast the votes, but this discussion is about the game. What does the game want the Brownlow medal to be? That's fundamental, the question that has to be answered.
So we want it to be a reflection of what truly happens in the game to give us the best player of the season.
And fairest, or is that just a nice little add-on at the end? And is it relevant?
Well, do you want my opinion like all the masses, or do you want the game to instruct us?
I want you as an umpire to tell me, do you take into account fairest when you award 3-2-1?
So if I was awarding 3-2-1 and there was some bits and bobs that went on in the game that was nothing alarming, it's the best player. Who's had the most influence on the outcome of this game? If a player did something that was egregious, there was a king hit or something that you witnessed where you go, that's beyond dispute, that's going to come into your calculations. But other than that...
Abuse?
Nothing. That's irrelevant. Yeah.
Irrelevant.
They're passionate, they're competitive, we embrace that and we march through that.
All right.
Time for stats? Just to add into the mix.
Can I give you an example, because it's historical, so I can reference it? I went down, I did a game in Geelong 2 years ago. GWS played against Geelong down at Kardinia Park. And at the end of the game, I was adamant that Connor Idun should be in for 2 votes. And I was steadfast. And in the end, I held sway and I got my way. And we left, and by the time I drove home, I checked my phone. And Connor Idun had 15 possessions, and I started to get a little nervous, Jared. And by the way, just as a side note, I've butchered plenty of votes, OK? But this instance, I waited nervously for the coaches' votes to come out, because you always reference them. They're the smartest minds in the game. They know what they're trying to do. They know what the opposition's trying to do. And Connor Idun came up 4 and 4 for our coaches. I was so joyful. But my point is that had I looked at the stats, would I start to doubt my instinct and intuition about what I thought was the impact of the game? So there are pros, most definitely, and there are also cons. So the answer has got to come out of this. What does the game want the Brownlow medal to be? Not what is the masses' opinions. That's irrelevant, actually. What does the game want it to be?
We want the umpires' opinions, but you, in that instance there, are seeking confirmation from the coach. You don't need to seek confirmation from any other votes. It is your award, it is the way you see it, and that is what makes it unique.
And I love that from you, and I appreciate that perspective, because I feel similarly. But what I will say to you is, how often have you sat in the seat of an umpire and the vitriol that comes from the flog squad online?
I empathise with you on the basis of that, but stay the line.
All right, be brief here. Best umpiring of the season, give it to us.
Jamie Broadbent. So we've got Geelong versus Collingwood. There's 20 seconds to go in the game. Jack Crisp has broken the record for most games in a row, and there's 20 seconds to go, and there's a bit to happen. Bounce the ball straight so we don't lose time. Nailed it. Back out. Ball is pinned. Quickly, call for a ball up. Don't waste any time. Get the ball, get out of the road, don't make a song and dance. Ball not pinned here, clue in. Don't blow your whistle. He doesn't. Award correct free kick. Don't come in and get in the road, because they're going to roll off, play on fast and try and get it inside 50. You don't want to be in the road as a shepherder. Ball goes in, Chris takes a mark, and we get a barnstorming finish. He had 5 things to do accurately that no one cares about, no one's spoken about, but he gets one of them wrong. We don't get the shot after the siren. Brilliant umpiring.
Most amusing rule-related moment.
Yeah, this is one of my favourites, actually. So Sam Collins had a moment where he thought he'd won an Olympic gold medal. So the ball, this is after the siren, he's the attacker, and he punches the ball through with all his effort for a point. Look at him, he's wrapped. It's a point. No, because it's assisted through by an attacking player, so no score there, Sam, but I do love the endeavour.
Nice. Yeah. It's been great to have you as part of it, Ray. Thank you.
Thank you for having me a part of it.
I've enjoyed it.
Me too, Gary.
Raises it. Will they have a beer together over the summer? We'll wait to find out. Ray Chamberlain.